but then they didn't.
JJ, good morning, mountains. We've been on mute the whole time. Good morning,
Are you
mountains. Yes,
serious?
we have, JJ.
No
So,
way.
yes, we have.
Oh
We've been
man.
on mute the whole time, JJ. That is something that is number one. What we're supposed to check.
Oh Lord, so
And
I'm gonna take the blame for that. Yeah.
as we move on here on this dreary Wednesday morning, it is July 24th. This day in history, JJ. What do you got?
Okay, let's start with let me go back. So in 1974, the US Supreme Court ruled that President Richard Nixon had to provide transcripts of Watergate tapes to Special Prosecutor Leon Jaroski.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember, was you born at that time or
No,
it
no, I
was
was
it?
not born in 1974, JJ.
Hey, I apologize. I was
No,
just a little
I'm old, but I'm not that old, JJ.
just a little curious. And then in 1983, do you remember the Pine Tar game?
I remember George Brett. Was it the Yankees he was playing?
Yeah, it was against the New York Yankees
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a very infamous game. I wasn't born for it, but I do remember watching the highlights of him.
Oh, he exploded.
Yeah, he ran out of the dugout and everything. Like he was
Uh,
livid for
uh,
that. And also in 2005, American cyclist Lance Armstrong became the first rider to win the Tour de France 7 times. However, he was later stripped of all of his titles after an investigation revealed that he was the key figure in a wide ranging doping conspiracy while he complied his tour victories.
yeah, I'm always going to be a Lance Armstrong fan, JJ. Seven Tour de France's, that was a miraculous feat. I mean, I used to love as a kid. They used to show it on ESPN. I don't know if they still show it on the main ESPN or not, but it was fun. It made me want to go out and get on my bike. I made my parents go buy me a mountain bike, somehow thinking that the same thing that they rode, and I'd start huffing, and then I'd get tired and I'd just quit and go in and play video games or something. But the we got all of our people tuning in. We got Jimmy Johnson, Parker Watts, Matt Maynard. We appreciate all you guys tuning in here. Jimmy Johnson says, heard Pikeville may have gotten Belfry running back transfer a day or so ago. Cottle or Austin? Who you talking about, Austin? Jimmy, let me know. I could just about guarantee I could not imagine a Cottle leaving Belfry. So I would, if it's true, I would not think it's a Cottle. But I will dig into that. I'll make some messages during the show here. By the way, guys, also in this day in history, Lance Armstrong. We was talking about the 7 feats.
Uh huh.
He was a hero during them times. And the last one he done it with cancer. He
Yeah.
had the Live Strong
Hmm.
bracelets, as you were saying, and he was a hero then, but he become a villain because I think a lot of people just he come off as a smirky, rude guy, like he was lying,
Hmm.
and it was, and then he tried using steroids, the cancer. He was taking steroids because of cancer, and I think it just made him look bad in the public eye. I'll always be a Lance Armstrong fan for what he done,
Yeah.
but he did leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths during that steroid uh, saga that was going on.
And I'm like you. I remember him most for the Livestrong bracelets. Like that was a huge thing. Like, and everybody was behind him. And then we just woke up one day and everybody was,
Yeah.
everybody hated him.
Got questions or comments, guys? You can call us today. Got the new hotline out, JJ, the Jim Mars Services hotline. Right now, call us 606-231-8911. 606-230-8911. So make sure, guys, if you want to chime in on a topic or you got a topic you want to talk about, you can give us a call today. We'll take a few phone calls throughout the show today. We got a busy show. We've got John DeRossick coming on.
I can't wait.
McGoffin County Hornets, legendary Prestonsburg head coach John DeRossick, now currently McGoffin County Hornets head coach, doing huge things up there. We have him at 8:30, and then at 9:15, Walker Russell, one of my D&D Mountain Elite guys, will be joining us.
Phenomenal player.
Yes, we do. Got a phenomenal. But also this day in history, the Apollo 11 returns to Earth and lands in the ocean. Apollo 11, you mentioned just a day ago, it broke the lunar orbit. So, it ended up taking, and I guess it was on its way back and landed today. So that's today, July 24th in history. Also, Congress, we mentioned the Richard Nixon and the USS Eastland tragedy killed 144 people. It was a tour ship in Chicago. It was on the Great Lakes, and still to this day, it's the biggest tragedy ever on the Great Lakes. 144 people died in the rollover of the USS Eastland.
Jesus, that's brutal. Looks like we got a couple comments. Jimmy Johnson says, Darryl, have you or JJ been playing any college football 2025 video game? Have you been playing?
No, listen, I ain't got time to play video games. There's not a chance that I'll have a free 30 minutes in my life to play video games. I'm a little jealous. I wish I did, because I'm seeing all these people. I'm seeing the local schools put out that you can create the high schools on there. I see people playing as Pikeville, as Betsy Lane.
You can create your high schools on there?
Yeah, Prestonsburg. Wow. I've seen them all on there. And so I'm a little jealous that I don't get to. But, I don't see any time in the next 5 years that I'll ever get time to sit down and play a video game.
The last video game system that I had was a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So most of the games that I have on my computer are like PS1 and Nintendo 64 games, or like old school games. So I don't really play games as much as I used to.
I did hear UK Wildcat, Barry and Brown, one of the highest rated players on the game. So big shout out to him there. Matt Maynard says, no way Cottle leaves Belfry for Pikeville. I agree with you, Matt. You will never see a Cottle leave Belfry for Pikeville.
Might get disowned.
Yeah. Cottles are beloved on Pond Creek.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to see that. Now, Austin, I don't know who you're talking about, Austin, Jimmy. Said, Darryl, you are everywhere. Said, I'm not sure that you're human. I think you may be a vampire. Well, I run on E a lot. Thank God I got a lot of support, a lot of good help. And
got these bad boys right here.
Yeah, Pepsi. This, by the way, guys, yesterday we was in the car, and JJ, we was sitting there talking about bad habits. And he was like, what do you eat a day? And I told him, and what I eat ain't the issue, because I'm not a big snack eater. I don't eat a lot of candy, stuff like that. But what I do is I drink a lot of this, and we got to adding up. I drink 1,500 calories in Pepsi, 6 Pepsis a day.
Yeah.
At 250. Is that 1,500?
Yeah. Well, 250 times 4, that'd be 1,000. So if you add 500 more to that, you have 1,500 calories.
1,500. All right. I made a vow to JJ. Starting today, I'm going to do a weight loss journey in front of all you folks at home. And this is my only Pepsi of the day you'll see me drink on the morning show, because this is equivalent to my cup of coffee. It gets me started. Now, it's my only bottle of Pepsi. Now, if I'm at a restaurant, I've got to drink a pop. And I'll try not to drink an entire glass. I'll try to one glass throughout, because I cannot stand to drink water while eating. So I'm going to go on a weight loss journey, and by December, I'm going to try to see if I can lose 50 pounds from now until December.
I've got faith in you. I believe you can do it, and I believe that you have the drive and the determination. And on top of that, if you cut 4 Pepsis a day out of your life, every single day, that's literally 7,000 calories that you're saving yourself every single week, that you're eliminating from your, daily diet. So I genuinely believe you can do it. And
there we go. This make me want to do it anymore. My good friend Ashley Dalton says, I'm in. Said, I'll do it too with you. Said, what's the go? I tell you what, Ashley, let's think of something, and let's make it a little competitive. Me and you are both competitive. Let's make it a little competitive, and let's say by November 1st, whoever loses the most weight by November 1st, you pick something. Let's pick something fun that we can do, or something that's on the line, and we'll do it for all the folks, and we'll see where we're at, because I know Ashley's like me. He's so busy. He's got multiple businesses he runs. He's got a son that's really good at football, basketball.
Yeah.
And by the way, I talked to somebody yesterday. Remind me, Ashley Dalton, that may be interested in working with Coda. So make sure that you reach out to me later today so I can tell you that. But Jimmy Johnson says, I quit drinking pop almost 12 years ago, so I drink water and juice. Said, you got this, Darryl. November 1st, we need to do a weigh-in.
Oh.
We will. We'll do a weigh-in, Ashley. You send me a video, or I'll come up. If you got a legit scale, we'll write up one day within the next week, and we'll do a weigh-in in front of each other so we can get the official weight.
And what we could do once a week, you could do your document like your weekly weigh-in, Darryl's Tuesday weigh-in, or pick a day, or Friday weigh-in.
We could definitely do that. But guys, I want to take and look at this new memorabilia up here.
It's everywhere.
A little different look today on the show, as we don't have our sports memorabilia pictures up here anymore. We got Brady Dingus to the far left, his number 10 Morehead State autographed jersey. Then we got Sean Kluski right here. And then we got Jeremy Steele, the Rain Man, up here above me. So, guys, make sure if you got a school and you'd want your jersey hung in the background of the show here, you send them to us. We appreciate everybody that has sent jerseys to us. And, we got a ton over here on our other walls that you guys can't see. We got, as JJ has wore some throwbacks, but we got a Matt Maynard, JJ Hill, and we got multiple jerseys. JJ, you was asking me what my favorite piece of sports memorabilia is.
Yes.
My favorite piece of sports memorabilia is this baby right here. Let me see if I can give folks a little. This, do you know what this is?
It looks like a piece of a floor, maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% sure.
This is the piece of the 96 championship floor.
You have a championship piece of a floor?
Of the 96 UK championship.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up meeting, and he even took and raised it into a Wildcat. And a guy I know that I met through my appearances on Kentucky Sports Radio took and asked me one day to come up there, and I come up there, and he actually has had 4 of these for me. And if you see, he even printed the D&D logo, or engraved the D&D logo on here.
Oh, wow.
And it's you could see it's autographed by Coach Cal.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this guy was amazing. He bought the entire floor, and when you went to his house and he had it just out in his yard under a deck, had the entire floor.
From the championship?
Yeah, the championship floor. And I'm pretty sure this was the Meadowlands where they had it that year. And he just has the entire floor laying under a covered carport. And he cuts these out and he gives it to people like that. I don't want to say I'm famous in the Kentucky Wildcat world, but
might be well known by a couple people.
well known because of Kentucky Sports Radio. He gives everybody that's a character or a host on Kentucky Sports Radio. He engraves these and makes them for them. Mm-hmm. And so he made me 4 of these. This is probably one of my most prized pieces. So
that's really nice.
But JJ, I wanted to start today. Remember, 8:30 we got John DeRossa tuning in, but let's first talk about Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, okay.
Do you know who Jerry Jones is?
The owner of the Dallas Cowboys?
Owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones has found himself in a little bit of trouble, JJ.
Uh-oh.
Jerry Jones has a woman and her daughter, or a daughter and her mom coming after him. Alexandria and Cynthia Davis.
I immediately was going to say, what's her name?
Yeah. In 1998, he reached a non-disclosure agreement with these 2 women.
Okay.
Or not the daughter. The daughter, I can't remember if she wasn't born or she was 2 years old then. She might have been. It was right after she was born. And reached a non-disclosure agreement where this lady could not talk about this anymore. And I guess he paid this woman off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're taking them back to court, and they're asking the judge to remove that non-disclosure agreement and have it to where they can go back to court. And, I guess she's suing him for back child support and a bunch of other stuff. The daughter is, not the mom.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter is, and saying it wasn't right because she couldn't make the decision. And, her mother made the decision back then. And Jerry Jones is saying this ain't true, that this isn't his daughter. Now, if it wasn't your daughter, why would you have paid them off back in 98?
I mean, that's the perfect. I mean, that's you got to have something to hide.
Yeah, and this Alexandria Davis is trying to make Jerry Jones go to court right now and take a DNA test to prove that she is his. But the courts right now are in the battle on should they go back to that 1998 filing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's
or ruling.
There's a sheet of paper. There was a agreement signed for a reason.
I mean, the man paid them off before.
Yeah,
like you cannot go back and do that.
Yeah.
That's why you do that.
Yeah.
And just because you see money now, I'm sorry, baby, but your mommy made a stupid decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what, if I was a judge, that's what I would tell Alexandria Davis. I'd say, I'm sorry, but your mommy made a bad decision back then. We cannot go back and open this back up because we done ruled on this, 30 years ago.
You would honestly probably have a better shot if you did it, just reached out to him without making it public.
Yeah.
And, if you're really his daughter, he may do the right thing and be like, well, maybe I can give you a job. Maybe I can look out for you. But, you going out there and doing it this way, I mean, you're going to make more enemies than friends.
Yeah, 100%, JJ. And, that, I don't know. That's just my thought process on it. But, who am I, but, I just found it weird that, Jerry Jones is having to go through this at his age. And he's not wanting to do it because he's got a wife.
Yeah.
So he's not wanting to be bring anything up that makes things uncomfortable in his household. I know how it is.
Right.
And
absolutely.
So, I hate it for Jerry Jones, but, what would you rule in that case?
Oh, man. You can't go back in time. I mean, once it's done, it's done. I mean, so, I would imagine.
So that's your ruling.
That would be my opinion, but I'm no lawyer. I don't have any degrees in the world of law. So I mean,
but that's what your decision would be. That's what I'm asking. What would your decision be if this girl come in front of you? What would your decision be?
Your mom should have did a better job managing her finances. That's what I mean. Reach out. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean,
you're making the right decision. You don't go back and you don't undo the ruling. So that's it. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got a lot to talk about on the show today. And we also got John DeRosset coming on. So make sure you guys come right back and join us. Remember, guys, you can call in and we'll give you that number as soon as we get back. You're watching the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. We're also going to talk about the secret trials with Kimberly Cheadle. Okay. So we'll be right back here on the D&D Sports Network. Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Holman Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes.
Incorporated Little Flower Clinic announcing help needed. We're seeking donations of gift cards to help us make a difference for our homeless and at-risk patients. Gift cards will be used for new clothing, new underwear, and personal hygiene items. If you're interested in helping, please contact us. Call Kendra Cole at 606-487-9505, extension 342, or mail your gift cards to Little Flower Clinic, 279 East Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky, 41701.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here. JJ, don't forget, after we get done with our interview, we will go over to celebrity birthdays today.
Absolutely.
JJ let me forget at the beginning of the show, so we'll go over them here in a minute. But without further ado, we have McGoffin County Hornet head coach John DeRossett joining us. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. You guys make it easy to get on. Your technology's outstanding. Used to those old Zoom calls, you had to chase numbers and hit a lot of buttons. So you guys are really high tech there at D&D.
We're ahead of the curve, Coach, but I'm a little upset. You made me lose a bet.
Well, I can do that to people,
You made me lose a bet. Yeah, I told JJ, I said, JJ, I bet you a $20 bill he comes on with a visor on.
Well, yeah, I usually do. But, I've gone to the hat lately because the old top of the head's getting a little thinner, and we've been playing 7-on-7 a lot. But, yeah, maybe the next time if you'll have me on, I'll crank up the visor and we'll double down on JJ and get that money back for you, Darryl.
There we go, Coach. I appreciate that. I actually, whenever I come and covered some events up there at McGoffin County, and I had a couple new workers with me one time, and I told them, I said, go get me a roster off Coach DeRossett. And I hadn't even seen you that day, and they said who is he? And they said, which one is he? And I didn't. I was fooling with something, and I said he'll be the guy with the visor on. And they went down directly and found you, and so,
right.
So that's kind of your trademark, Coach. It would not be the same to see you on the sideline. So I hope that you still wear the visors during the games.
Okay, so after this is over, JJ, I'll go out to the burn pile here. I'm going to bush hog a little bit. I'll burn the hat, okay?
There we go. I appreciate that, Coach. McGoffin County Day today, we got Coach DeRossett, and then later we got Walker Russell coming on as Coach. I wanted to bring you on and talk a little bit about what you got, this season coming up. JJ, we were sitting here talking. He said, what does Coach DeRossett got coming up as a team? And I said, he's got a lot of young talent. Right now, practices started a couple weeks ago there. What are you seeing from your young team right now?
Well, we're real. We base everything we do, Darryl, on our weight program and off-season conditioning. And we had a bunch of kids really participate in that and do really well. And, there's schemes, there's air raid, there's wishbone. You can have all that stuff, but you got to plug guys in that are physically fit and able to step up to the challenge. And we want our kids to compete, and we talk to them every day about being tough. I tell our kids, leave all that smart coaching stuff to Coach Perkins and Coach Woods. But I want to run the weight room, and I want to run the conditioning and be able to get after people and be tough. And I think we're getting that edge at McGoffin County. We went to Moorhead last Saturday and had a real good 7-on-7. Our linemen got some great work, and it was really kind of proof in the pudding. Our kids could see the ones that had participated in the weight room, had participated in our speed and conditioning programs. They performed, and then the guys that got in a little late, they struggled a little bit, but those guys know that they can catch up. For example, we went to Breathitt last night and worked with Coach Holcomb, and those guys will flat get after you, and we had a good session. And then we get back, and we're trying to wash all the clothes, and we got a couple kids. We said, hey, Coach, can we get a lift in? It's 9:30 at night, and they knew that they were a little bit behind. So I stayed till 10. A couple guys got a weight workout in. So we're going to do all the field things, the football things, but it's just like anything else. If your body's not prepared and you're not tough, football is going to take you over. So we're going to get our guys tough and physical, and that's what we've been doing for the last 2.5 years. I got there in the spring, and the administration has been real good to me. We got the after-school program. We got 3 in-school weight classes that most of our guys get in, and then the middle school is real good. Darryl, in rural school districts, it's tough to get kids back and forth. So they bust those kids over to us, and we try to get them home the best we can in the afternoons. And we got a great community. Our parents cooperate, but we got love to get those kids in the weight room. It's just not about meathead weightlifting. we chased Pruitt around there for a few years. I remember when I was coaching at another school, and you got to be fast. You got to be able to put your foot in the ground and change directions. So we're just not in there doing this meathead weightlifting. We're preparing athletes, and we see that when we go to combines. We went to Moorhead, I think, 3 weeks ago, and some of our guys, we hadn't timed them. We just worked, and they put up some outstanding numbers, and some of those guys woke up. Moorhead said, wow, your kids can run, your kids can change direction. Well, it's not just getting out of bed and not working at it. Our kids work at it every day, and it's really a good place. It's a gold mine, in my opinion. We got a great senior class, but goodness gracious, you look down that middle school, we practice all together. You know, I don't make them don't make anybody do anything, but I don't ask them to go to the grass or anywhere to practice. We got 3 through 12 up there. We probably got 120 kids up there at one time. It seems chaotic, but it's not. We're all on the same page, parents everywhere. So we're building something special at McGoffin County. And, you know, a lot of coaches talk about a process. Well, it is. You can't just come in overnight and magically flip a switch. But I'm seeing things really turn. Great administration. You know, Coach West, Nehi was up there meeting with all the coaches the other day. He brings us all in. And the main thing is, I heard out of his mouth was, you know, be good to kids, make sure it's not too hot, make sure they drink water, and anything you guys need equipment-wise, get with me. So, you know, you see a lot of school districts struggle to fund football. It costs a lot of money. But we got our stuff, but some of those little guys, they need some helmets and things. And Coach West said, anything you need, give me a shout. So that's where we're at. And we're getting ready to get out of the 7-on-7 phase Saturday. We're going back to Moorhead. And then after that, we'll be full football until our first scrimmage.
Nehi, one of the best. You know, it's a blessing for you to be able to work next to that man, because he's a guy that lives and breathes McGoffin County. Just a great guy. You know, you mentioned your strength and conditioning. Who's your strength and conditioning coach?
You're looking at him. I mean, that's something that I've always prided myself on, and you know, something that I've kind of been into. I don't look like it all the time, but I feel like we train athletes pretty good. I had a former player the other day call me, and he's a head coach. He said, Coach, tell me some things. And he said, when I played for you, I was in the best shape I ever was. And I said, well, really, I can't tell you. I just kind of go on feel. We don't do some elaborate program. I think you got to gauge your athletes, see where they are, see how much you're practicing versus how much you're lifting. I know at UPAC, when I coached up there, you know, the position coaches were in the weight room, and, you know, you try to take, I don't go looking for work, Darryl, I guess is what I'm saying. And JJ, so one day, you know, I guess all the strength guys were gone. They said, Coach, you got to run it. And I ran it, like they were like, hey, you're pretty good at this. You know what you're doing? I said, well, yeah, that's basically all I've ever done. And I tell you where I got a little bit of that, Darryl, was I would go to clinics all the time as a young coach and listen. And I listened to Bob Beatty at Trinity. And Bob Beatty, he said, you know, as an assistant, he was real loyal to his head coach and did whatever he said. But he said, I knew when I got my own team, everything was going to be based on physical conditioning and toughness. And you can see that in what he did at Trinity. And that's what I like to do. I like to run the weight room. I run the conditioning. I got my hands on a little bit of everything. But one thing I learned about 15 years ago, if you're going to have assistant coaches, they want to coach. And we turn our guys loose and let them coach, and they do a good job. We got a very organized practice schedule and what we want to do every day. And as you're doing here today with technology, you don't have to face-to-face meeting. Probably from now until the time I leave for practice, I'll probably communicate with our coaches 5 or 6 times. They'll get a practice schedule, and then they'll come back to me, and I kind of leave their indie periods open to what they want to do, and they'll tell me what they're going to do in Indy, and I'll say, good job. But we're all about being positive. Our kids, they don't give us no reason not to be positive. They show up every day with that lunchbox mentality. I felt like Tuesday, Monday, they come in, and sometimes you're dragging on a Monday, and for some reason they practice good. And I told them, I said, guys, that may be one of the best practices we've had since I've been here. Sometimes coaches look at and they say, well, coach, they're not really enthusiastic. We don't have to be a cheerleader to be a great football player. You know, a 2-hour football practice is pretty tough, and they got through it, and they done weights before that. But we're getting there, Darryl. You know, we're not reached our goal yet, but we film our kids in practice and we evaluate and we critique them. A lot of times you get a new assistant. He'll yell, "Hey, coach, they're not tackling." Well, I said, my wife can tell me that. And she tells me a lot of things when I get home. We got back from Moorhead, and I said, "How we do?" She goes, "Well, you can't catch the ball." And I said, "Okay, so we'll work on that." But we tell our coaches, don't say the line's not blocking or the kids are not tackling. Do something to incorporate in your practice and in your Indy period and in your meetings to get that kid ready to play, because it's your responsibility.
Now, Coach, last year, obviously, you got the pleasure of coaching one of the best athletes the 15th region or the mountains have ever seen in Aiden Barnett. He played throughout his career a little bit of everything: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, DB, even the early days, sometimes a linebacker. Right now, how are you filling the hose, and who are you filling it with in the backfield and at skill positions, replacing Aiden Barnett?
Well, you can never replace Aiden Barnett. Aiden is a special young man to me. He may be the greatest athlete I've ever coached. God gave him some good abilities, but when he gets on the field, whether it's basketball, football, or whatever, he's a stone cold killer. And I communicated him all the way through basketball. He and I would talk just a little bit, here and there. But, Darryl, you watched him all through his career. There's no team in the state of Kentucky, from the big cities in Louisville to the western part of the state. There's nobody could stop that kid on the football field or the basketball court. After we played Lawrence County, Alan Short told me that he's the best two athletes they ever played against. And the other one's Juanell Robinson. And with football, it's very simple. If you look at our record, and I told our coaches this, I said, guys, we got a great bunch of kids coming back. But, what we did with Aiden or what he did for us is tough to replace. We won every game he played in, and every game that he played so hard that he was worn down at the end and didn't finish, we lost close. So, and he knows that. He's not – see, Aiden Barnett is a lot different than what people see. They see that vicious player on the court and on the football field, but off the field, he's a lamb. He takes time to give back to those young people. Right after the state tournament, he wore those blue and red shoes all year. And we got a little young kid in our program, and he admires Aiden. And when I walked in the office that morning, those shoes were sitting on my desk, and they were signed, and they were given to a young man that will be coming into our program in 2 years. So, and then you watch, it's amazing from the play-in game to the quarterfinals of the state tournament. We have good players, and you're going to have a great one on after I get done here with Walker. But what Aiden Barnett did, he pretty well hitched that wagon up, and he said, nobody's stopping me. And, sometimes, they'll say, I know in the regional tournament, I'd get there so early and take everything in, and they're like, oh, he's a dirty player. He's this. Aiden Barnett will play you any way you want. You want to play a straight-up basketball game? He's going to play you straight up. If he ain't hitting outside, he's going to take you to the rim. If you want to mix it up, he'll mix it up. And then when he walks off the court, he's a choir boy. But I'm telling you, in football, basketball, the sky's the limit. I talked to him a little bit the other day, and they were saying that they're going to redshirt him at U-Pike. Yeah. If he gets on that court and plays, I'll say this, Darryl, and I've been around a long time. If you put Aiden Barnett at UK today and played in a pickup basketball game with Travis Perry and those guys, Aiden Barnett could play basketball with them. He's just, and something else too, I'm sure with all this foolishness that goes on with recruiting and calling and people cherry picking people's players, Aiden Barnett could have gone anywhere in the state of Kentucky and played. But he stayed in his hometown. He played at Sayersville, Kentucky, McGoffin County High School, and he did something great for his community. And guess what? He's the most unassuming kid you will ever meet in your life. Before the regional tournament, he's over there doing bounce passes with the fourth grader. But I'm telling you, when those lights come on, boys, he's stone cold killer. I'm just telling you.
Coach, you hit it spot on there. Aiden, he lives and breathes McGoffin County, you know, and I know personally, I know people throughout his career that tried dragging him here, tried dragging him there, but he stayed true and he done something that, you know, and it gave a lot of future McGoffin Countyans a lot of hope, because now they say we can go to Rep Arena from McGoffin County. You know, it was done. And, you know, Aiden Barnett, and this is no slight at all to McGoffin County, you know, it's just what you're building right now. You know, you're overcoming, you know, a lot of down years. But if Aiden Barnett, I truly say this, if he would have been at a Johnson Central, Belfry, Pikeville, he would be playing Power 5 football. I do believe that.
Yeah, he could do a lot of things, like from the quarterback position or the receiver position. You know, we took him to UK last summer, and, you know, he hadn't done a lot because he'd been in basketball and all that, and it was in the summer, and he goes down there. He runs 4.5 40. He doesn't drop a ball. And, you know, he measures a lot better than people think. He's probably 6'2"ish. And the thing about Aiden, he weighs 190 plus. During football, he was a little heavy, probably 205. But I told him at basketball, I said, man, you got yourself in some real good shape. And like I say, I told him, I said, if you stay in the condition you are right now, he come up, we had Coach Holcomb over this summer, and he come up and hung out with the kids. And I said, if you stay in the shape that you're in right now, it'll be impossible to keep you out of that lineup, because he's kind of like a Richie Farmer. You know, if somebody's taller than him, he can back them down. He's always got a way to get his shot off. He's just a special dude. And, you know, he's ranked number 1 or 2 in the class, and got a 28, 29 on his ACT. So, you know, you see Aiden on the court, you say, he's a rough dude. Well, he is a rough dude, but, man, he's such a great kid off the court, too.
Well, you know, that's, you know, moving off, you know, Aiden there, you know, coming up, we know that 8th grade middle school class last year was very special with a lot of young talent. Any of them young pups getting any major PT this year, or are they ready yet? Or
yeah, you know, they're, you know, like just at their level. We went to Mississippi and took a bunch of them to 7-on-7 camp, and Pearl River had a lot of their JUCO kids there the first day, and had a lot of really talented kids. And, you know, Colton Reisner was the talk of the town down there. And I've known Coach Mummy a little bit, and he was real laid back, and we talked a lot during those 3 days. He said, Coach, he said, if I was at a college right now, I would offer that kid. He said, I don't know if you remember Dickie Lyons that played at UK, and the little number 12, the punt returner, Abney. But he said that kid's special. You know, he mossed a couple of those college kids, and he's another one when he gets on the field. I mean, he's just different. I mean, his route running, and guys like him and Aiden Montgomery and Cole and Howard, I can name so many of those middle school kids. They beat me there. I mean, they're there every day in the weight room. They're there every day in conditioning, and it shows up. And there's a bunch of those middle school kids, and Bryce Buckaloo, I can think of him. When he come to us, he's a little bit pudgy. That kid's changed. He's muscular. He's tall. He's catching balls in these 7-on-7s all the time. So those kids are coming. We got some really good freshmen coming in that can play. Good, Caleb Lovely, a big lineman. I'm sure he's going to start on one side of the ball or the other. He travels and does all this all-star stuff. We go see him as much as we can. We got another big lineman in that freshman class, Hunter Arnett. He's probably 6'2", 6'3", 255. Got size 16 feet. So we got some good linemen coming up in that group. Got some great split ends, Connor Comer, Dagan Cottle. They're really good at the split end position. Nico Dahmer. We had as high as 21 freshmen lift with us in the off season. We got about half those guys out in the summer. And then when school starts, we'd like to get the rest of those freshmen out. Sometimes they have trouble getting back and forth, but one good thing is they're going to be able to roll in that weight class. So we'll get them all in weight class and get those guys going.
Well, Nicky Lyons, you mentioned him. We've had him on the show a couple times before.
He's a dude, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he played with David back in his days there at UK. Now, as we got a couple comments coming in, Jimmy Johnson says, Dickie Lyons and Derek Abney, both amazing athletes. He said, Coach Darrow, bring McGoffin County back to the days of Michael Cabot. I loved watching him back in the 1990s.
Yeah, Coach Cabot was a dandy, and he coaches at Montgomery County, and he was nice enough to invite us to the Rec Bowl. So we'll go back there and see him, and then get to see his dad, Mick Cabe. Mick's still around, and his grandson and Coach Cabe's son, Jameson's a really good football player and a baseball player. So we still connect with those guys, and a lot of guys that's involved in the program, like Michael Paul Howard. He's a big help to me, Cole's dad, and I can name a lot. But they really have great respect for Coach Cabe. They refer to him a lot, and they talk about, getting it back to where it was with Coach Cabe. And I'm fine with that. Anything that can help, I'm all in. One thing about our coaching staff, we don't have any egos. We don't care who tapes the ankle, who fixes the water. We just want to be successful, play hard, and win.
Well, Coach, you're definitely, of course, with administrators like you got there, and with a AD like Nehi, you're supplied with some of the best up there. But Montgomery County, very special place to play. I mean, I love where your football field sets up in that valley, up on the hill. Just a beautiful place to go watch a football game. What you got the fan support there in Salyersville. I mean, some of the craziest and most rabid fans, during basketball, it really opened a lot of people's eyes this year at that spirit section, how crowded it was night in, night out. In Montgomery County, trying to, and as you know, Coach Gamble, he's a good friend of the program here too. You come in replacing Coach Gamble, and I know he was a big proponent, whenever you come in. What's the biggest obstacle right now that you've seen in Montgomery County and that you got to overcome getting back to them days of being a power football program in the mountains?
Well, probably just that kid that comes to weights a little bit in the off season. He thinks he wants to dip his toe in the water. He says, I'm too slow. I'm too short. I weigh too much. Just that kid, because we've had a ton of them, and they kind of just revolving door with us. And I know that's sometimes a warming up process, but just those kids that say, hey, I really want to play football, but I never have, and I want to step across and do it. I think our middle schools, our 3 through 8s, are already doing that. They got great numbers, and those guys kind of cross over, and we're going to see those big numbers when they come in. But we still got one more class or 2 classes of high school kids that I think have been reluctant. We got a couple of linemen out, and they've done tremendous. We got, I think Jordan, he's a big old lineman, and he was probably, he's probably a little reluctant about coming out. And he's come out and not missed a day. He's lost 20 pounds. He does a great job. But at first, he probably was a little hesitant. So I think our challenge, Darryl and JJ, and we recruit every day. We send things out. We talk to kids. We send their guys down to middle school. But I think from the 8th grade down, the numbers are good. But I think, maybe this year and maybe another half class of kids say, hey, I'd like to get out there and play and step out and be a part of something, because they all have talent. They can run. They played basketball and baseball, and step out of that little thing about, hey, I don't want to know if I want to do this or not, and give it a chance, because we really have a good time. We got a great boosters network. Like yesterday before we left, I didn't even know, but they say we're going to feed them before we leave, and they do a good job with that. So I would say, Darryl, our challenge is just to get that kid that's a little bit reluctant, that doesn't know that he wants to get in the deep end, to say, hey, I'm going to jump in here and see what this is all about. The guy you got coming on next, he was in my weight class, so recruit him for me. We threw the ball a little bit 7th period, and that guy could be a lockdown receiver for us. And I tell his mom and I tell everybody, I said, hey, we're going to put him out here at number 1. We're going to throw the ball to him. He's going to catch it and score, and he'll probably be lucky if anybody touches him. So when you get on there, and that guy right there is a dandy too. All during the weights, he would come up there and train. He trained some with Jaron, but he got down there, and if you watch McGough County basketball, he got down there and got dirty. He got down there and got those garbage rebounds, and then he started scoring from the perimeter. And then when the regional tournament, the play-in game hit, Walker turned it up another notch. But he's an outstanding kid, and we'd love to have him play receiver. And again, Mom, if you're listening, He's just going to be out there by himself. We're going to throw him the ball. He'll score, and he can come over and stand by me. And I'll get another visor, Darryl, and I'll put it on him. But he's a super kid. And even if he doesn't play football, I love him to death. He's one of the most unassuming kids you ever want to meet. And I'm glad you're having him on because he's the next phase of McGough County basketball.
He is, Coach. Walker, he's a kid that, we got a 2025, which is senior group AAU program, and we got some really good kids on there. And, we were shorthanded one weekend, and, I said, let me call Walker. And, he's come into our AAU program and played up in the senior class. And, we played, some older guys that are 6'8", 6'10", and Walker does not have a problem at all with him. What I've seen this summer, I've told everybody now, I'll redo the rankings right now. I think Walker Russell might be the best incoming junior in the 15th region, with Carter Parsons, Chris Spriggs right there with him. But Walker's a phenomenal kid, and I know he could really help you. He would be an elite wide receiver with his athletic ability.
Yeah, we won't even lay any tackle on drills or none of that foolishness. But and he's a little thin, Darryl, but really he's strong and he's so long. He's probably 6'3" but if you took his wingspan, he's probably a 6'6" type kid. So we really like that guy, and he's getting some things under control, but he's going to be magnificent. I mean, as far as the basketball, but again, I've talked to his mom and dad, and we recruit. We recruit our own. We don't recruit other kids outside our school, but we recruit our hallways, and we've always been after Walker, and maybe he'll step out. We got Troy Salyers out. He's a basketball player, and he's really doing a good job for us. So again, it goes back to that kid that says, "Hey, I'm going to step over there and help those guys out a little bit."
Yeah, that's the tough obstacle that I see at McGough is that, every other school is going and they basically got their pick of 2 or 3 counties around them, kids coming to them. It's hard in the past. I can't remember the last kid that transferred into McGough County, and it's and if they have, they're normally out-of-staters or McGough or people from Salyersville that's come back and brought their kids with them.
Yeah.
So it's something special that you guys got there with that homegrown talent. And we got Stephen Castadorf says, Coach, real quick, can you tell us who is helping you coach this year?
Yeah, we got some outstanding coaches. Coach Nathan Perkins, he played at the University of Pikeville when I was there, and then he probably finished up. And he's our offensive coordinator. He's a super coach. He's a young man that's got his head screwed on. He just got married and they're building the house, but he's always there. He's always there for the kids. His little brother Caleb's on the team. And I guess if you called somebody a head assistant coach, he would be him. And then I got Kevin Woods. He's the DC. He helps there. He coaches the linebackers and the running backs. And then Coach Brad Stanner does a good job. He coaches the wide receivers and the DBs. And then Larry the Legend Bennett, he's been with McGough in football since it started. He coaches D-line and helps Coach Perkins with the O-line because Nathan jumps around a little bit on offensive days and goes to different groups. And then Jason Wages helps us with the receivers. But we just got a really good staff. We did a good thing 2 weeks ago. We went down to Red River Gorge and had a retreat with our seniors and coaches. Spent a couple of days. Had a great time, cooked out, ate breakfast, hiked to the top of the natural bridge, which I almost died. Because if you ever do that, everybody's coming down never gives you no positive reinforcement. They tell you, hey, you got another 80 minutes of living, you know what. So I'm like, goodness gracious. But we all hiked up there and made it and took some pictures. And we didn't talk much about football. We just cooked out and had a good time. It was kind of strange, though. This guy that was missing for 14 days, he was there when we were there. We didn't know it, so we could have found him, I guess, but we didn't. That's an amazing story in itself. I tell you, I almost didn't last 2 hours up on that mountain, and that guy lasted 14 days, so he must have been pretty tough. But I believe football is more about.
Now, what, Coach? Say it again. A guy got lost at Red River Gorge?
Yeah, there was a guy. You can get on there and look. I figured you would carry this story.
No, I ain't seen it.
he got lost in Red River Gorge. He was missing for 14 days. Of those 14 days, he didn't have water or food for 12. And he was there the same time we were, and they found him. Shorty, we went over to Breathitt last night, and Shorty said his wife and them were down there hiking. Shorty's in good shape. You know, he works that concrete and stuff. He's tough, but I'm tough. I'm just fat. But so Shorty said all these sirens go off, and that's the day they found the guy. Thank the good Lord. But, you know, they have a search team down there, and that place down there, I mean, if you've ever been there, there's no place to play around. Even hiking up to the top, there's some very dangerous places, but we all made it. And I think they were betting against the old man, but the old man made it. And some of them were going to ride the sky lift back down. I said, no way, I'm going back down. I'm going to make it. And I told Coach Perkins, I said, we'll do this every year. And the year I can't make it, you can have this thing. I'll just limp, not ride off. I'll limp off into the sunset.
Coach, funny you say that. Is a couple weeks ago we talked about you know, we kind of took, my daughter was gone one weekend, and, you know, me and my wife wanted to do something with my son. So, you know, I wanted, I said, let's go, you know, we can drive out Red River Gorge and enjoy it today. And, you know, I wanted to go to Natural Bridge, and we was on our way up there. And just what you just said, we ran into about 4 or 5 people on the way down, and they was like, you better be ready for this. It's like, that's a tough one. You know, make sure you're in shape. Make sure you got water. And I told my wife, I said, let's go to the swimming hole.
Oh yeah, you know, one thing they've done down there is they've taken their landscape, and you know, our kids and I really couldn't believe it. We drive past it every day on the way to Lexington, but the number of people there, the restaurants, we played mini golf. There was all kinds of things to do, great places to eat. Of course, we cooked out a lot, but it was, I mean, that place is like a mini Gatlinburg on the weekend. And just a little story on the way up, there was an elderly lady, and she was sitting there, and
I think we lost Coach.
Did we lose him?
I think so. I think we lost
man.
Coach. Hopefully he comes back on, logs back on there, because got to get JJ's question in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll log back in here. But,
yeah.
You know, Coach Darrossett, you know, legendary coach, JJ. Back in the days at Prestonsburg, he built his name. And we'll see. You know, right now I can hear the rain outside. So,
oh, yeah.
You know, we was
that
talking
storm is
about
getting nasty.
The dreary day. And I told you, I said, I don't know what the forecast is, but it looks like rain. Well, the rain's here. And, you know, I'm sure it's probably affecting Coach Darrossett's internet right now. But, been a great segment with Coach Darrossett, and if he don't pop back on, JJ, we'll have him back on in a couple of weeks, because as you can tell, he's a good talker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then whenever we come back, we're going to talk about our county of the day. And a little hint, Coach Darrossett just talked a little bit about it. So come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
To play ball.
We're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here, as Coach Darrossett says that service, drop service. So the said as we're sitting here right now and looking, you know, Coach DeRossa he's one of the ones. He's a treasure we got here in the mountains. You know, we got to keep the coaches like him. Well, there he is. I think he popped back in there.
Did he come back?
Yeah, I think we got Coach DeRossa. Can't see him, but can you hear me, Coach? Right now, he's looks like he's got trouble coming in here, JJ. But Coach DeRossa, he's a true treasure. You know, we got to keep him and Coach Haywood, the legendary coaches like that, because they got so much knowledge of football to pass along that we got to make sure that we take care of them and keep them in here. Dennis Lafferty says one of the best traditional coaches in the state. Dennis, did you play under Coach DeRossa or was you before Coach DeRossa? Let us know. The Dennis Lafferty is Crayson Lafferty, who we had on yesterday's father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we talked about him going to Prestonsburg there, but I don't think Coach DeRossa. I'm trying to see if we can bring him in. He's trying to come in, but signal must be a little bad on him there. But as we're going to go, JJ, County of the Day takes us to Powell County.
Powell County.
Now, we were sitting there talking about, Natural Bridge, the Red River Gorge. That's Powell County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So population 13,129. Small county. County seat Stanton. Named after 19th Governor of Kentucky, Lazarus Whitehead Powell. All right. Let's see. Powell County was formed from parts of Clark County, Estill County, and Montgomery County. In 2018, they become a wet county, which really helped their tourism. They're the home of the Natural Bridge State Park and Red River Gorge, two of Kentucky's most important natural areas and ecotourism destinations. With also you got Pines Knob there. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of natural beauty there in Powell County. And then 180 square miles, only 1.1 miles of water. That's really shocking.
Yeah, that's
shocking because I seen a lot of lakes and ponds while I was there. And then they got a big stream system with the water hose I was telling you about. We went and jumped off rocks. Population high was in population high was in 2000, I think, and it was 13,237. Now it sets at 13,127, so only 100 away from the high. So it's staying booming.
Yeah.
Now here's something that got me a little worried about Powell County.
Okay.
Males median income $26,962.
Jesus, that's like $4,000 less than the average at all these other places.
Yeah. It might be the lowest we've seen. I got to think it's a lot of people that work at the tourist destinations.
I don't think we've seen one, with an exception of this one, that's not in the 30 range.
No, and then the women's is 18,810.
Oh wow! I mean,
but I will say there, the cost of things are a lot lower, and you don't have to have as much to live there. So I could see, and a lot of people that live there work around the park. So I'm sure a lot of that is from the park. But the border counties is Montgomery, Menifee, Wolfe, Lee, Estill, and Clark County. All right. Probably the most notable thing, Powell County, and the reason most Eastern Kentucky folks go to Powell County is Clay City.
Okay.
Do you know what Clay City is?
Never heard of it.
That's where people go and drag race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the racetrack.
Oh, wow.
Biggest cities is Clay City and Stanton. Famous people. Now, this was a really bad county. Not many famous people come from Powell County. The only ones I could find was two filmmakers. Millard Webb was a screenwriter, wrote 20 films, and most notable was The Beast, was a play off Moby Dick.
Okay.
Sea Beast. Then Robert D. Webb had 16 films, and that was it. That's all the famous people.
Wow.
Now, I know some people. Now, the athletes that I've covered, Jack Rose, you got Braden Brandenburg, Jack Rose, Connor Morgeson. He's not there anymore now. He's at GRC. Those are some of the more notable athletes. You also got Brandon Brewer, was a head football coach there for a long time.
Uh-huh.
One of my good friends, I think, might have been the superintendent of the school board, or he was something high up there in the school board that I graduated, I didn't graduate. He was a year older than me. His name was Josh Kincaid, wide receiver for Belfry. So there's my connections to Powell County. Restaurants to eat. Bronze Restaurant. Me Finca, Mexican cuisine, and the lunch bucket. So there's you there's the restaurants, and that wraps up Powell County, JJ. So it's probably listen, not against Powell County, but you're the most boring county that we've covered so far.
Do better.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit better than that. Got to get some entertainment. Got to get some excitement.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Powell County, even all that right there, is one of the most beautiful counties that we got. Because you got the Red River Gorge, you got Natural Bridge, as they mentioned, Pines Knob, you got zip line in there. You can go back in the caves. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in Powell County. So I highly recommend everybody visit it. You just got to get some more famous people.
Yeah.
Powell Countyans, you got to get a little more grit in you.
Absolutely.
So, JJ, we are just a few minutes away here. But before we bring Walker on, want to bring up a topic yesterday.
Okay.
Don't know whether you know it or not, and our power flickered, so hopefully we can stay live here. But Miami Heat win Summer League action against the Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah. I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, and did you see who the leading scorer was?
I did.
Scottie Pippen Jr.
One of my favorite. His daddy was one of my favorite players. Whenever I was a kid, it was the '90s Bulls. Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman.
Yeah.
So to see, one of your favorite players' kid have some success is pretty cool.
Now, as we're sitting here, Stephen Casador says you need to get Matt and Leif Messer on the show, pro bass fisherman, and get Jackson Feltner on the morning. Jackson Feltner would be a good one. He's a professional baseball player, and I'm sure we can make that happen. We got a pretty good connection with Jackson and his family. So,
really?
Yeah, we'll try to make that one happen. But JJ, as we're sitting here trying to hang on, power keeps flickering, so hopefully we do not cut off, and you guys can stay here with us. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, including the Kamala Harris, the Trump stuff, the Secret Service stuff. We're going to talk all that. But guys, it's getting that time. We'll have Walker Russell coming up next. Come right back and join us here on the Morning Startup Show. You're watching it with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Burgee, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
We are back here on the Startup Morning Show, JJ, hanging on. Power outages all around us. Coach DeRossett says a garbage truck knocked his internet line out. So,
wow.
Yeah, he said he'll come back on and join us soon, but he's got a question for you.
Okay.
He says, Willis, David Jones, 40-yard dash.
I'm going to give it to David.
David smokes eggs.
I'm going to give it to David.
David Smokes X. The X, believe it or not, X in the early days, X was a guy that when he was going to get the ball, he was going to get you 15, 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But I promise you, he was going to get run down because he was one of the slowest humans you ever seen. But X rode a bicycle all around Belfry. Like if you drove up and down the 4-lane, I promise you would see X Willis. And he ended up taking and becoming one of the faster ones to ever come out of Belfry. And it was all because of the work that he put in from his sophomore year to his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that kid, he got so much faster over that time. I tell you, another one that was like that was Doug Howard.
Yeah.
Doug Howard went his sophomore year, he was just going to bruise you and run over you.
Stiff arm you.
Senior year, it didn't matter. It did not matter if you had an angle on him, he was going to outrun you.
Yeah.
You know, and then speaking of stiff arms, that famous stiff arm was against Coach DeRossett's team, the Prestonsburg stiff arm.
Now, he might want to comment and let us know how he felt about that.
Yeah. I'd say he probably remembers that one quite well.
I was at that game.
Yeah. But, you know, as we mentioned before, David Jones, you know, when we talk, you know, best athletes to ever come out of Belfry, David Jones will tell you, you know, he thinks Matt Maynard might be the best all-around most gifted athlete.
I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah. I mean, David was a phenomenal football player, but Matt his basketball skills were just as good as, you know, his skills on the football field.
Tommy Champlin asked a question here to JJ. He says,
"Okay,
who are your top 5 athletes all time that you've covered in the D&D era?"
Well, I've only been here a month, so I'd have to.
No, he wrote in, was asking me what my top 5.
Oh,
was.
okay.
You know, if you just go all around athletes, trying to think.
I mean, you could.
It would be hard to get one better than Aiden Barnett. Aiden Barnett at McGoffin County. If I was going to put one over him, it would be Jackson Hensley from Pikeville, wide receiver, went on to play at Wake Forest, ended his career at EKU. Then I would go Isaac Dixon.
That's a Belfry kid, right? Yeah.
He's a Belfry kid. And then probably Brady Robinson from Betsy Lane is definitely on that. And trying to think, there's another one that and it's tough if you just talk it. Oh, Caleb May, Tug Valley. That would probably round out
the
best 5 athletes. Jonathan Blankenship from Tug Valley. He would definitely be on that too.
So was Isaac the one that won Mr. Kentucky football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Coach DeRossa says yes. Joe Blackburn was WYMT Player of the Week the next week. First question was the Doug Howard stiff. He was speechless. Doug Howard, special dude. How would you like it? Be WYMT Player of the Week, and your first question is how'd it feel to be on the other end of Doug Howard's stiff arm?
I mean, that's, you know, I have a lot of mixed emotions.
But as we're waiting for Walker here to join in, as I mentioned, a lot of issues going on right now. But JJ, talk a little bit about let me ask you this.
Okay.
So far, your short time here at D&D, who's the best athlete you've covered?
But I'd say Parker and Jaden so far. Yeah, I mean, that I personally got to see live. Yeah,
Parker definitely.
Yeah,
when you talk best pure athleticism.
Yeah, from an athletic standpoint, just the first play that I saw from him, like his first bucket was a tip dunk.
Parker would make. He would be in that top 5. I would probably put him over the Tug Valleys. Bryson Eli's a kid that's going to be in that too. But Parker, he's a kid that if he wants to play football, and he focuses on football, he's a Division I Power 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, he looks like he could easily have almost a 40-inch vertical. I mean, if not higher.
As we're trying to get Walker on here, I know he was on his way back last night from Kings Island, so early start time for Walker. WNBA, 3.4 million views for the WNBA All-Star Game, most ever for any WNBA event.
I'm not surprised. I mean, that doesn't surprise me one bit, and I think that's awesome. I mean, I really wish that she would have been on the Olympic roster.
I do too.
I mean, that she did 100 million views, couple 100 million views.
Now, speaking of views, she should have been. Her and Angel Reese both should have been on that roster, and it showed, as you can see, what the WNBA All Stars done to the U.S. team.
Yeah.
So I think they need to take whatever their selection process is. They need to look at that again.
Yeah, stop going for the players that just like, because I mean, Diana Taurasi, arguably one of the best ever, but she's 42 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
JJ, we were just talking about Powell County, and I mentioned Connor Morgeson. Connor Morgeson tuning in with us this morning. Yeah, he's at GRC now doing his thing.
Okay.
We'll have Connor on the show soon.
Yeah.
And said he's tuning in from Win City. That's Winchester.
Oh,
Connor,
wow.
Connor Morgeson. I tell you what, Connor. I'm going to call you after the show, and we'll get you scheduled and bring you on in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Because this young man, I'm telling you, I don't know. Like, he is a freak athlete at his age.
How old is he?
He's an 8th grader.
Oh, wow.
Going into freshman year.
Oh, really?
Yep. So, but, speaking of 3.4 million views for the WNBA, well, the NBA, TNT and Warner Brothers have reached a deal to match the $1.8 billion offer by Amazon Prime to take the NBA coverage away. And they have matched it because ever since that TNT has started in 1988, they have always had NBA basketball on.
Yeah, inside the NBA.
Yeah, well, they've had NBA basketball. They ain't had inside the NBA since then.
Right.
They've had NBA basketball. Well, inside the NBA is probably it's the most popular NBA show. Like, there's times when I come home from games, during basketball season, and I don't got time to watch NBA. I don't watch regular season NBA. I watch the playoffs, but I don't watch regular season. But I always make time to turn it over to TNT and try to catch Barkley, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie.
Because they're very entertaining. They're all knowledgeable, but they're all entertaining as well. And, I go back and I watch old episodes. Yep. That's how entertaining they are.
The NBA would not be the same without them.
No. So Ernie Johnson and all of them, I mean.
Yeah, so sitting here waiting, JJ, I want to get your thoughts here on Kamala Harris. They in front of a roaring crowd in Wisconsin, JJ, Kamala Harris says November is a choice between freedom and chaos.
I agree with that, because if she wins, I can imagine the chaos.
It's going to be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's what she's saying. Yeah. A lot of stuff come out about Kamala Harris. I did not know that she dated Montel Williams.
Wasn't he a TV show host from the 90s? Yeah, I remember.
TV host.
Bald-headed man. I remember watching his shows.
Yeah. Some of the old videos that you're seeing from Kamala Harris, I don't know that I want her as my president.
No.
I cannot believe the Democratic Party picked this lady to represent them. I cannot believe that. And I still think at the end of the day that it's going to come down to, before it's over with, I don't know that Kamala Harris will be the Democratic candidate.
Did anybody else want the job?
I would not be surprised.
Did anybody else want to try to go?
Hillary Clinton does not try to, if she does not end up the Democratic nominee when it's all said and done.
Yeah, if they want to lose. There's literally only one person that they could pick that would actually have
Michelle
a shot
Obama.
To even give him a run. Not even saying she can win, but if you at least want to make it competitive, that's your only person.
Not even close. And she would still lose by a substantial margin, but she would lose the closest.
Absolutely.
Right now, America is just ready for a change. And, I don't know if you got to see any of the Kimberly Cheadle trial, but she did not come off good after the trial. Kimberly Cheadle, was asked, about all she had not visited the site, and she still hasn't visited the site, and they was talking about the shooter visited it 3 times in 7 days, I think. And they was like, the shooter visited the site 3 times more than you visited. And the Secret Service that shot the guy, she waited 3 days, 72 hours to call the guy to talk to him. Now, this is the lady over our Secret Service.
Yeah.
There has to be a change at the top here. If that lady is not fired or impeached, there is something wrong with America, because there's no way we can have that lady protecting presidents.
No.
And especially the way that she acted about it. I mean, I still, and I know this is a conspiracy theory show, but I still think it was a setup. And there's videos coming out that Matt Maynard says Trump is set up.
As soon as you said that,
said he has. It's tough because there's stories coming out now that there was a mysterious figure that come in and out of his apartment and went into federal buildings in Washington D.C. So who is this figure?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not just a coincidence. And it's always ended up like this. They always get a loser, some loser that and I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but they get somebody they ain't got much in life. That,
they don't have much going for them.
Yeah, don't have much going for themselves. It's got low self-esteem. Just they've always done this.
It's like, you know what? Like, we're going to give you a purpose.
Yeah, that's it. And then they take, whether it's through brainwashing or through other stuff, they'll mentor this person for a long time, and then they end up getting them to do it because they know that they're going to kill them.
Yeah, you'll never be famous, but you can be infamous.
They never live.
Yeah,
they never live.
No.
And then you take all the stuff that's coming out about this kid. I mean, you hate it. I mean, I don't feel sorry for the kid because of what he done. But listen, the Secret Service, FBI, they're powerful, man.
Yeah,
they're powerful. And when you take and look at what happened, that's a picture perfect of what always happened.
He literally reminds me of Shooter. I mean, he wasn't a war hero or anything, but just the setup and everything.
By the way, have you watched the JFK documentary?
I've seen some JFK documentaries, but
no, have you the recent one?
I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Well, it's like you got to pay. It's on YouTube. It's called JFK Films. We got Walker in studio with us. We'll have him in a second. But they ended up taking and JFK Films went and done this documentary. You got to pay $29.99 to watch it, but it's worth it. Best $29.99 you'll ever spend. You'll come away in awe. Come to find out, you know who the shooter was?
Who?
The driver. He right-handed, or he was left-handed. He was driving with his right hand. Right there, shot. That's why the bullet bounced around. They said it bounced around. Well, it come from in front.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It is insane. I highly suggest anybody go watch that new JFK film.
That is insane.
Yeah. I'm not going to make that a homework assignment because it's $30 to watch.
I mean, if I could find it on one of them websites.
But, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got McGoffin County Hornet Walker Russell with us. Come right back and join us on the Startup Morning Show.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia's a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Burgee, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
We're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, and without further ado, we got Mr. Walker Russell with us. Good morning, Walker.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, Walker, it looks like you just woke up, Walker.
I woke up about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago.
Walker, was you at a what was you at? Kings Island, Six Flags, what?
Cedar Point.
Cedar
Oh
Point.
yeah,
Fun?
Sandusky.
Oh yeah, it was great.
The guys, Walker is the forward off the McGoffin County Hornets. A little background on Walker, JJ. I first got on Walker probably 4 years ago. He was in 7th grade, and I'd heard about him as a 6th grader, but first time I got to see him was in the middle school tournament at Prestonsburg, and he blew me out of the water. I mean, this kid, long, athletic, can score in a multitude of ways. You know, Walker, you come up to your high school team, and you know what you done last year as a sophomore, I think, really shocked a lot of people, because you stepped in there, stowed that spot from, a lot of crafty veterans on that team. I mean, y'all was weighed down with seniors, and you stepped in as a sophomore, and with Aiden Barnett, Ethan Salyers and crew, and the Whitakers, you ended up taking and helping McGoffin County go to their first ever Rupp Arena appearance in the Sweet 16. Talk a little bit about the Sweet 16 and what that run was like last season.
Well, I mean, you can't make it up, really. I mean, just the atmosphere. I mean, going out on Rupp is a dream that anybody has, like, especially like growing up in Kentucky and your favorite team being UK. When you go into that big facility and you see, like Anthony Davis on the wall and DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall, I mean, it is cool. And then you go on down, you see like their national championships. I mean, it's just something to see. And then the best thing of it all is whenever you start going out of the tunnel and you get on the court and you look up in the stands and you see thousands of fans. I mean, it's just breathtaking. I mean, it is truly insane.
Walker, did you get a chance to listen to Coach DeRoss's interview earlier?
Earlier? I have not yet, no.
He talked a lot about you, and he made us promise that we would try to talk you into playing football.
Oh yeah. He's trying to get me right now. I told him, I said I had to put on a few pounds, and then I will.
Walker, you ended up last year. Of course, you was mentored by a lot of great seniors, and like in middle school, people will always ask me, whenever you joined our AAU program, I've had a lot of people come to me and talk about you, and they're like, do you think that McGoffin County is going to be competitive? Do you think that Walker Russell, can handle being the guy? Well, in middle school, you was always the guy, and that's what people don't understand. Like, you was the star, you was the primary scorer on your middle school squads, and now that you're going up and you just done what you had to do, a lot like Lathan Hall did. He done what he had to do to see the floor. That's what you done, and now that Aiden Barnett's gone, what you learned from Aiden Barnett and the rest of them seniors, do you think it's got you in good position right now to take over this team and be a leader next year?
Absolutely. I mean, Aiden Barnett is one of the greatest players in the 15th region ever, I think. And, I mean, he's my teammate for 5 years. And, I mean, he's taught me everything about the game. And, I mean, I know a lot of shortcuts to the game, and Like if I ever want to go into the gym, Aiden can get me into it. He's helped me out a lot. Zane has helped me out a lot. Just because he's a big guy, he helps me in the post. And then, like Grayson Whitaker, he's helped me with my shot a lot. Just all them boys has really helped me, help my game tremendously. I mean, Aiden has been there for me since I was in middle school, and he'll definitely continue being there for me on the future.
Walker, you there's a lot of comments coming in. Coach Drossett says, "Come catch some footballs today." Walker said, "Non-contact." Said, "Remember Randy Moss." Walker. And,
hey, that is true. That is true.
The Carl Whitey Little says, "If not for Walker, McGoffin County would not have won the 15th region. His rebounds and scoring and defense was the key." So, that's a big head up. Whitey watches a lot of basketball, and he knows what he's talking about. And I agree with him. I think you was that missing piece. Just like in our AAU program. When you come to us, we were shorthanded, and I was like, I talked to you before, and you was like, you ever get a chance, I'd like to play. And we got a group of seniors, and we play up a little bit, So I was like, but after watching you last year, I had no doubt you could do it. And then now that I've got a chance to coach you, your length and athleticism is a problem. You're guarding, 6'8", 6'10" guys that are, juniors and seniors, and you're not having a problem at all with them. That's one thing that I've been really shocked, that your ability to guard bigger players. But now that, you're having to take over this McGoffin County, and I know you got other guys too that's there, and if you want to mention them here in a little bit, you can. But are you going to move more out on the wing now that you're going to have to be one of the primary pieces, or are you still going to play down low?
Well, what me and my coach has kind of talked about is it's just the team that we're playing against. If they got a good wing, then I'll probably guard the good wing. And if they got like a pretty good post player, then I'll just guard the post player. It's just like, it's kind of just matchups, really. It's just strategies. But I'll probably small forward, so I'll probably be playing a little bit down low a lot, but I'll definitely be out in guards center.
Yeah, and that's one thing, this summer, what you're seeing right now. And I was really surprised. If you guys have not got a chance to see Walker, I was surprised at your mental, for you to be, one of the young ones on our program. You was put in a big spot this weekend, down to, you stepped up to the free throw line, missed your first free throw. You knew you had to make this, or you had to miss the second to have a chance. And you banged off the rim. Perfect play. You could not have done it any better. Had an easy one that rimmed in and out. Took a bump on the way, but just how headsy you was in them final minutes. It seems like that run last year to Rupp and playing under all them seniors really helped your mindset, and it seems like you're ready to be a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. The mental game of basketball, they've taught me everything. Just like, whenever I bumped up to middle school, my biggest problem was I'd jump up and I'd pass the ball. And whenever I jump up, obviously if you jump up, they'll just stay on their people and then you'll walk or throw it to them. And so they taught me how to, not do that, not to jump.
Stop leaving your feet.
Yep. And then they taught me about, don't go in the corners, pass the ball forward, talk on defense, always communicate. They just taught me a lot about, the mindset of the game. That way you got shortcuts during the game or like in practice that you can, teach other people. they definitely taught me a lot of tricks in this game.
Well, I tell you that I've not had more fun coaching a player as I have you in a long time. Just a good kid on and off the floor. You come from good stock. This summer, and for the folks that don't know, I mean, you had a health scare, and there's something to do with your sugar there. Talk a little bit about what that was, the process going through it, and what you got to do now to take care of that.
Well, on Father's Day, I was sick, and I went to the hospital, and they pretty much said I had type 1 diabetes and stuff, and I was like, I'll be fine. I just got to get on that basketball court, and so. We was in the hospital that first day, and, I had to stay there for a few days. And I was like, when can I play basketball again? And they was like, you can go as soon as you get out of here. I said, all right, good deal. And so, they, treated me right. They got me all my stuff. And I left, and I was on the way home, and I was so ready to get into the gym. I mean, I think the next day I went and I played ball in the gym, and I worked out. But, I mean, obviously I gotta, keep it under control. Like in our AAU game this past weekend, I just had to keep an eye on it. But I mean, it done phenomenal. I don't think it'll really bother me a lot.
Well, the coaches now, we have to hold we have to put your monitor in our pocket there, and it'll kind of tell us whenever you're getting bad. And
yeah,
that's one thing that's got to be scary for you, man. Is diabetes something that runs in your family, because you're a healthy young man?
Well, my family has a lot of type 2 in them, but there's not really none that is type 1, and so. They was really like, man, how do you have type 1 when, your whole entire family is type 2? And, I was like, is it just because I drank all that Mountain Dew or something? And I was like, could I stop drinking Mountain Dew? And they said, no, you couldn't really do nothing. It's just really bad luck. I was like, oh, dang. Well,
It's luck of the draw. And
yeah.
Listen, just like you was the first McGoffin County Hornet to ever win a 15th region title, you're the first Russell to ever get type 1 diabetes. So you're one of the first.
I got a lot of accolades.
Yeah, there you go. Put that on your resume. JJ, you always want to ask some questions, so I'm gonna hand Walker over to you.
Walker, man, it's really nice to meet you. I would have never guessed that you was in the hospital, with the way that you were playing the other day, whenever we got a chance to cover you. I mean, you looked like you was in really good shape. Who are some of the players that you've modeled your game after? Like, who were some players that you grew up watching?
That I grew up watching?
Yeah, or some even to this day, like, who are some players that you try to, model your game after, or try to take little things from them to try to implement them into your game?
I like KD a lot. He's slim like me. He can score on all levels. I model my game a lot after him, and just the way that he moves the ball and stuff, and how he leads his teams, and then the defensive aspect. I like Drew Holiday a lot, and he's an underrated guard. He plays for the Celtics right now, but I like that he's really he can get down and guard. I like to model my defense after him, but offensive wise, it's mostly KD, because he can just get to the rim whenever he wants to. He can pull up, shoot it. He can pretty much do it all, really.
Yeah, those are two really good players. I mean, Drew Holiday, he's somewhat underrated. Would you say that, Darryl?
Yeah, he's a little hidden with all the talent around.
Yeah, he will be what you call a hidden gem, pretty much.
But Walker, I think Walker, we just got his new nickname. Go back to the early KD days, the Slim Reaper.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There you go. The Walker, people always. Well, let me ask you this before we go, or before we get into the fan questions. What is what's your plan? You got any camps coming up or anything?
Any camps? Yeah. I'm gonna go and try and get on to the EKU camp that they're having, and then like the next up recruits. I'm really gonna try and go to that one too. It's back-to-back days, but I'm definitely gonna try and go to at least one of them.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a camp next month that I'm really gonna try and go to. I can't really remember the name, but I'm for sure gonna go to a lot of camps to get my name out there.
Well, I tell you, there's one, and the coach reached out to me last night. Well, he reached out, invited Jackson to it, and told me to put the word out there. And it's a coach that recruits the mountains quite well, so a coach that can actually give you an offer. If you perform well at the camps, CU Harrodsburg the following weekend, Austin Sparrow and them is going to have a camp. So I think it's August 7th and 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe want to put that one on your circle that one on your calendar. But as you're sitting here, people they got to know you a little bit through the TV screen, and Walker was one of the ones in middle school, and a lot of it I feel bad because we don't cover a lot of McGoffin County middle school. We cover a lot of middle school basketball, but not a lot of McGoffin County middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up in that class, you always had the Chris Spriggs, Carter Parsons, Will Rose, kids like that. But Walker was just as good as any of them. Now, after getting a chance to coach you, playing you more, and this has nothing to do with you being one of my guys, but I honestly, the Griffin Elite guy called me. He said, "Hey, I need a big." He said, "Do you know any?" And I said, "Well, I got this guy on our AAU team." I said, "I hate to lose him, but that's a big opportunity to play." I said, "I think he might be the best incoming junior in his class." And I'm not going skill wise because Spriggs and Parsons, they're great guards. But just your production and your activity and how you impact the game. I don't know there's anybody else in your class that impacts the game like you do. I mean, you're a stat sheet stuffer. You keep doing that. I have no doubt that you're going to be playing next level basketball at a high level someday. You just, now that you got an opportunity, just listen to Coach Castle and, keep doing the small stuff. The big thing, you just got to get your name out there because you're coming from behind the 8 ball, because them boys have 5-6 years of people knowing who they are. You got 3.
Yeah.
So fan questions. Let's get to know Walker Russell a little bit, JJ.
All right.
Walker, favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal? I'd probably say Fruity Pebbles. I like.
Is that like an inside joke with all these kids?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think now it's an inside joke. I think all you kids are. Every kid comes on here and says Fruity Pebbles. We've had one say Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Now Walker, celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush. I'd probably say Megan Fox during them Transformer days.
He's going back.
Prime Megan Fox. Okay.
Yeah. They now favorite shoe.
My favorite shoe.
Yep.
Either like any kind of Nike shoe or Crocs. I can wear Crocs all day.
Well, they you can't play in Crocs, so we'll go with Nike.
Yeah. I'll go Kyrie's. But he ain't with Nike really anymore. But I do like Kyrie's.
What do you wear on the court?
Right now I wear Giannis's. So
okay. All right. So what's your dream car?
My dream car? If I had to choose, it'd probably be like a big Super Duty.
Okay. All right. So Walker, what is if I was to come and say, Walker, hand me your cell phone, and I looked at your playlist, what is the top 3 artists on your playlist?
My top 3?
Yeah.
Probably Kanye, Drake, and there's probably gonna be some random person there. Let's think. Probably. Luke Combs, probably.
Okay, all right, I'm digging some Luke Combs. That's actually the most reasonable playlist I think we've heard so far.
It's very diverse.
Yeah, I would listen to that to them.
Yeah,
you know I tell you what I don't recommend, Walker. OT7 Quaney.
OT7 Quaney.
Yeah, don't listen to him. He's bad.
Is he?
Yeah, he's real bad. Lake and Russell says you're lying. You love country, Walker.
That is true. Country's my favorite.
Yeah. Walker, what makes McGoffin County so special? And what is so great about McGoffin County?
Well, I grew up and it's always been home. Really, just the people. It's like a little community. Like, well, a good example is whenever I got sick and I had to go to the hospital and stuff that we was talking about earlier. My phone was blowing up from messages from people around here, saying, that they prayed for me and stuff. And, I had all kinds of people come and see me, everybody just helps each other, I really couldn't ask for really a better city, a better town, because I believe if I was in like a big town, I wouldn't really have like a big community that I got here. And just like whenever we went to Rupp, they literally made jokes that, anybody could get away with a robbery while we was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And, that's one thing I've noticed. McGoffin counties are very resilient. So, love McGoffin County. And Walker, if we're coming to McGoffin County, what's the one restaurant we've got to eat at?
The one restaurant?
Yeah.
We ain't got a lot of those. Let's see. Oh, you have to try Lee's.
Lee's.
Most people ain't got Lee's, but
Lee's
Yeah.
Oh, that's my all-time favorite place.
Yeah, JJ. Every time we go to Sayursville or go through Sayursville, he always wants to stop at Lee's, and I've never let him stop yet.
Yeah, like that was one of my favorite places to go when I was a kid, but this was like 25 years ago. So
yeah, hey, Lee's is good. I love Lee's. I can try every day when I can.
I tell you my favorite place. There's a little restaurant, and I cannot remember the name of it. It's the Farmers, I think.
Oh, Farmer's Diner or whatever?
Yeah. Up there across from the fireplace.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I like that place a lot. I think
I love their breakfast.
Yeah. Now Walker, as we're moving forward, you said you mentioned you may be at the EKU or the Next Up camp. Only thing I'd tell you, man, just keep getting your name out there because, and hopefully our AAU team, will play another tournament before the summer end. But, just keep getting your name out there right now. I really think, if I was going to buy stock in a player in the 15th region right now, it would be Walker Russell. I mean, this season, it's going to be hard because just like the early days of Aiden Barnett, you're going to have a lot of defenses that's going to be keying in on you. But you just have to be ready, physically ready, mentally ready, to step up and shine in that spotlight, and make sure you get to Coach DeRossa. He blew my phone up saying, we got to get Walker on the gridiron.
Hey, I will. I'll sure text him.
All right. Walker, I want to thank you for joining us, man. Exciting. I always love having you. And I can't wait to see you soon, man.
Thank y'all for having me too.
Thanks, Walker. Listen, if you cannot tell how good that kid is through that interview, he's just an amazing kid.
Well-spoken, very energetic. And what stands out to me is just how good he was able to do as a sophomore.
Yeah.
To come in there with all those seniors and then just take his spot and run with it.
Well, he worked for it, man.
Yeah.
He outworked the other players on the roster, and he come in and, like them seniors loved him.
Yeah.
And just like my seniors on our AAU team, they love Walker, his energy, athleticism.
Yeah.
we know at the end of the day, Walker's going to make some plays. He's going to make the hustle plays that's going to allow us to win the game. He is an ultimate competitor. He always energy on a team with him, and just physically, he's able to make plays that other kids can't.
Mm-hmm. And I really can't wait to watch him play.
Yep.
Now that he's healthy too, I mean, like I would have never guessed he had been in the doctor or had any problems with him. Like if you wouldn't have told me, I would have never guessed.
The John Darrow said a lot of famous people come from McGoffin County too. Who's the most famous McGoffin County?
Jesus, hold on. Didn't we just do this yesterday?
No, we've done
McGoffin County. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I wasn't here when we done McGoffin, unfortunately, because I had a lot to give.
Wasn't he might have been a baseball player, I want to say, maybe, or
no?
Wasn't
Larry Flint?
Larry Flint.
Do you know who Larry Flint is?
I know that name.
Have you ever seen the movie People versus Larry Flint?
Oh, that's him.
The owner of Penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Woody Harrelson played, had Courtney Love in it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He's from Salyersville.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, the famous thing that McGoffin County is most notable for is the McGoffin County Cadillac. Do you know what McGoffin County Cadillacs are?
A Cadillac that's located in McGoffin County. I mean, I don't
No, the McGoffin County Cadillacs. There's I think there's an auction there.
Okay.
That auctions off old police cruisers.
Oh, okay.
And anytime you go through McGoffin County, I promise you, my butt is puckered, because I am scared to death, because you can guarantee you're going to look in your mirror and there's going to be a cop car in the back in your mirror. You just have to decide, is that a cop car or is that just somebody driving one that they got from the auction?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, I promise you, I will bet you $100 bill that you cannot drive through Salyersville and not see at least 10 old police cruisers just going through that one street.
Like the old school Crown Victorias?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, they're new ones too. I mean, like they keep up to date with as they go on. They got the Chargers now, and they even got the lights on the side and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called the McGoffin County Cadillacs because so many people own them.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I thought that was just a special kind of car made in McGoffin.
No, they're kind of like Cavaliers were around here when I was growing up.
My dad had a Cavalier.
Macon Russell's laughing. I don't know what she's laughing about.
Probably me not having a clue.
Yeah, who the McGoffin County Cadillac is. And Walker, I would not Google Larry Flint. Lavina Frisbee says he's such an amazing young man. He has a heart of gold. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Amazing kid. But enough about Walker. I can go on all day. Take a commercial break. We'll be right back with our final segment, and we got a lot to go over. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy here on the call. We'll be right back.
D&D Auto Sales. Right now, guaranteed credit approval. No credit, bad credit, good credit, it don't matter. Guaranteed credit approval 100% right now at J&B Auto Sales. Stop by and see them today in DeFord, Kentucky. Crum Funeral Home in DeFord, Kentucky is committed and giving the highest quality funeral services for a fair and reasonable price. If you don't want to have to deal with heavy financial obligations during your grieving process, come see us at Crum Funeral Home. Our staff is ready to serve you.
Back here, Darryl McCoy, JJ Pruitt on the Startup Morning Show. Got a lot of people still tuning in, JJ. Great show.
Absolutely. And I really,
John,
go ahead. I'm just really appreciative of everybody, still tuning in. I mean, I know how bad the weather is right now.
Yeah, John Darrow, Walker Russell on, great guest today. But let's move on over to Pond Creek. As T. Eplin commits to the University of Pikeville. JJ, what sport?
What sport? He looks like a wrestler, maybe.
He looks like a wrestler. Let's put him back up there. You think he's a wrestler?
Let me see. I'm gonna say a wrestler.
He's esports.
Well, like video games?
Yeah. So
wait, you can get scholarships to play video games now?
JJ, you do not know that you can get scholarships. Are you kidding me?
You can get a scholarship to play video games now?
You get a scholarship, play video games, to fish, to bow.
You mean okay, not his major being like.
No, video games, like literally, it's a sport. Like they play, like I think Mario Kart, Call of Duty.
Oh, if they just play Mario Kart, yeah, I could definitely get a scholarship. Yeah, I would.
There's a couple more, but they compete in the state tournament. Tees went to the. I can't remember if he won a state title or not, but he's been to the state championship game a couple times. But he commits to the University of Pikeville and will be joining their esports team.
I mean, I'm not demeaning esports. I mean, I know how big it is, like especially with Madden and Call of Duty and things like that. I just didn't know like you could get a scholarship for
I think Madden might have been his forte.
Yeah.
That might have been the one that he plays is Madden.
I mean, it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that.
But there's only like 4 different games that you get to play and compete in. And I'm pretty sure Madden was the one that T was so good at.
So you can get a scholarship to play video games now. That's
he
pretty cool.
He is the son of Arby's owner Tim Eflin.
I know Tim. I used to play ball Tuesdays and Thursdays at Tim had a key to the Williamson Middle School gym, and we would always every Tuesday and Thursday, me, him, Matt Maynard as well,
Chris,
Bishop, Bishop, we had a lot of run-ins.
1-on-1, who wins, Tim or Bishop?
I like them both. I don't want to. I mean,
who wins, JJ? You've seen it enough.
Who gets the ball first? I mean, is it make it take it?
JJ's taking the politics, the political.
Hold on, is it make it take it, or does everybody get a possession?
No, everybody gets possession.
Tim's a good post player, but Bishop's a hustler, man. Bishop used to get 12 points a game just off of the rebounds nobody else wanted to grab.
Republican leaders urge colleagues to steer clear of using racist or sexist attacks on Kamala Harris. Do you think Trump will go by that?
I think that.
I don't think racist, but I could see some sexist remarks.
I honestly think that he's toned it down.
He has.
Yeah.
100 times.
I think that he realizes like he doesn't have to use that formula anymore, and that formula that he used to win in 2016 may be a little outdated, and people may want you to be a little more presidential. Be more presidential. So I really think that he knows that he doesn't have to do anything.
I think he knows the only naysayers he had was the ones, and even me, I'm one of Trump's biggest fans, but keep him off Twitter.
Yeah.
He does not need to be on Twitter, you know, and but I think he has toned it down a lot. And, that's what I want to talk about, the Trump. Let me ask you this. Come to find out, I hear that the Secret Service, because, I was blown away, and I told you, I said I was blown away to see 6 women on that Secret Service detail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, I heard that Secret Service put a lot of their people on an event that was going on in Washington, and that some of them was Homeland Security there at the Trump. So it wasn't necessarily the Secret Service.
So, I mean, but still,
But let me ask you this. Kimberly Cheadle, with what's going on with her, that was a huge step forward when we seen all them women there. We was like, that's something. That's a big step for women. But her dropping the ball, her not answering the way she is, and the incompetency of her, do you think that hurts women in the future of holding that spot?
I think that her not taking the full accountability is what's going to hurt, them the most. Because that's the stereotype that a lot of people put on women, and I'm not saying that it's true, but the inability to take accountability whenever you make a mistake.
Yeah, and something like that, my only reserve is if it comes down to it in a situation like that, women are emotional. Can they say, take that dude out?
Mm-hmm.
Because as we see now, Secret Service, I watched a video last night up on the rooftop where one of the Secret Service was talking to the shooter, and he's like, well, we've had these pictures. They had pictures of him 26 minutes. This dude was on their radar. They had pictures of him on their bicycle. and she didn't give the okay to take them out. Like something went wrong there. This was a setup, easily a setup, JJ. Wasn't even close. Very sad situation. Glad it was avoided because it would have created a civil war here in our country.
And we've had, there's too many videos out there. Like you've got one video of him on the roof. You've got one video of him climbing to the roof. Like you've got so many videos of people saying, there's a guy right up there. You've got videos of, it's just like, how?
Well,
you guys are supposed to be the best in the world.
JJ, Lavina Frisbee is Walker's grandma. She says Larry Flint was Walker's pawpaw's good friend.
Oh, wow.
So, well, there you go. A little 6 degrees of separation.
Small world we live.
Yeah, I also had a connection to Larry Flint, but we'll move on about that. I bought a lot of his product when I was a kid, or I stole it. I would go to my friend's house and I'd steal his dad's Larry Flint stuff.
Yeah.
Memorabilia.
Oh, God.
So, as we move on here, Roger Goodell testifies in the Sunday Ticket lawsuit. There is a class action lawsuit going on right now over the Sunday Ticket. The NFL, Roger Goodell, they're saying that he cohorted and is making a monopoly. He's only selling Sunday Ticket on satellite corporations. So you got to be a satellite customer to get Sunday Ticket. And the big reason over it right now is the price of it, JJ. $350 it was in 2020. Now, $449 a year for Sunday Ticket.
If you're going to raise the price of stuff, at least raise the amount of wages that you're paying people. Whether it's for food, whether it's for, electronics, no matter what it's for. Like if you're going to keep raising the price of these subscriptions and stuff like that, like fix it to where people can afford it. I mean,
well, and it goes back to, talking about satellite, being on satellite only. It's bad enough that everything's going to streaming nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to satellite, everybody has satellite. A lot of people is going to streaming services now. A lot of people has cable, so, I think that, making it how hard it is to get and then putting that kind of price on it, I think is ridiculous. $500 a year, that is ridiculous. And they're taking some of the good games from Fox and CBS and putting over there is one of the big things.
Yeah.
There was a bar called the Mucky Duck in California that filed this lawsuit back in 2015, and it went to court and the judge dropped it. Well, in 2022, the judge looked at it again. The Supreme Court brought it back up and said, we're going to continue this because, undoubtedly they don't agree with what's going on either. They can tell that, this isn't right, what's going on. And, so something needs to be done. No way that $500 for a package for a year, no way that should be going on.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and you'll never see me pay that.
There's too many websites out there where you can watch it for free. I mean,
I don't want to get in trouble, but I'll take my Louisville media box and I'll watch it for free.
I don't want to get in trouble either, so I'm just gonna not say anything.
So, as we move on here, JJ, Costco. You ever been to Costco?
I don't think there's one. I mean, is there one around here? I don't think
there's not one around here. You go to Lexington, I think.
Oh, Lexington.
You can find one, but Costco is selling emergency food buckets that last 25 years, JJ. Now, JJ, they're charging $100 for these.
Okay.
All right, an emergency food bucket. Now, first of all, what are you going to do with this food bucket?
I mean, how much food is in it? First of all, I mean, it's supposed to last for 25 years, which is terrific, but how much food do you get?
JJ, can you pull up and look and see what's in it? I think where there's like pudding, granola bars, maybe a chicken Alfredo, but the thing is, that's one bucket of food. Now, if there's an emergency, if there's a nuclear bomb or something, and you're in a shelter, you're probably going to be there for a week or two.
Yeah.
All right. So even if you took $400, and there's going to be, listen, I promise you, people's going to buy this. But even if you do go buy this and you buy one for each family member,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough food to last you maybe 2 days if you sparingly it out. But what's exactly in this?
Okay, so I'm on the Costco website and it says 150 serving emergency food bucket. So apparently you get 150 total servings. So let's see what's in it.
Oh.
Does it say what's in it? Let's see. 40 drink servings, 80 servings of hearty entourage and sides, 30 servings for nourishing breakfast. So I mean, it's
I guess if you're into that.
Okay, here we go. Pasta Alfredo, 12 servings. Cheesy macaroni, 12 servings. Teriyaki rice, you get 6 servings. Creamy pasta and vegetables, you get 6 servings. Potato pot pie, you get 6. Tomato Brazil soup. You get 6 servings. Basil, yeah. Chicken noodle soup, 6 servings. Apple cinnamon cereal, you get 12. Crunchy granola, 6 servings. 10 servings of white rice. So, I mean,
so I've never seen one of these, but I got to imagine this is a lot like an MRE. And I don't know. Do you know what MRE is?
Mm-mm.
It's a meal ready to eat. It's what the military uses when they go into field.
Yeah.
They get little packages like this, and they'll come in just like little packages like hot chocolate does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a sealed aluminum package that keeps it fresh. I got to think that's probably what it is. But that's something that there are going to be a lot of people buy that.
Well, it says you get 25,000 total calories, and it's on sale for $80. I mean, I'm a numbers guy, so for $80, I mean, all of this stuff, it may be not bad, but it's again, how long is it going to last you though?
As you know, on this show, JJ is very frugal. And I always take JJ's like, let's go eat. And when we go eat, I'm like, okay, JJ said, he's like, I'm buying. Or when we go eat, he'll pull his wallet out. I'm like, JJ's going to buy. And then he starts shifting through his coupons. And he's like, here's $2 off, a number 3 at McDonald's. And he's like, oh, wait, I can get 99 more cents. Let me get on my app.
Just got to wait 15 minutes before the other.
Yeah.
Another coupon.
So JJ is very frugal. So what we got to do here is, JJ, is we got to take JJ's debit card, because I promise you, when JJ's seen how much stuff's in there, this is what JJ's going to make his wife eat at home. JJ and his wife will be eating one of these, and they will be spreading this out. JJ's like, $80, this will last me, 2 weeks. I promise you, JJ will have a Costco purchase on his credit card in the next week.
I'll never hear the end of it.
You're going to try to smooth that one over, JJ.
I mean, it's got some pasta in there. Some Alfredo.
That's 5-star dinner.
That's the Olive Garden.
Yeah, there you go. I promise you, JJ will do it, guys. I promise you, I know this dude. As we're moving on here, Joker, new trailer for the new Joker movie coming out. Lady Gaga, Joaquin Phoenix. Are you excited, JJ?
Absolutely. I mean, he won an Oscar for Best Actor in the last one, and it was a very gritty movie. And it didn't feel like a superhero type, like one of those type movies. Like, it really felt like it was a film about somebody who just was going through a lot of things mentally and then just finally broke bad.
Yeah, that's why I liked the movie, because it wasn't really a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a relatable movie. So I'm hoping that they kind of keep the same thing with this next one. Now, Wolverine and Deadpool isn't getting great reviews.
Really?
No. They're saying that filmmakers are finally coming to saying, well, it is what it is. So definitely it's a movie that I'll watch, because I like Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll watch it, but am I excited to watch it? No, I'll definitely watch Joker over it, and the new Twisters movie.
Yeah, Joker was like the first film that was like superhero related where there was only like one main guy that grossed like $1 billion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it broke a lot of records. So I look forward to seeing what this one does.
All right, guys, we still, we had a ton of topics that we're not going to be able to get over, JJ. But before we go, I'm going to leave you with this.
Okay.
You ever thought about going to sea?
To sea, like
Yeah.
to the water?
Yeah.
Well,
no. This right here makes me think twice. Off of the coast of New Hampshire, in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, check what happened out.
Oh my God.
First of all, I'm mad at these people for shooting video of my mother-in-law without asking.
They need to leave Free Willy alone. I mean, that's. I mean, that's. He ain't ever bothered nobody until recently.
No, that's insane. Couldn't you imagine being there fishing, and all of a sudden a whale jump up and take you out?
I mean, I don't want any problems with anybody on the sea. Like I'm. That's.
They're called killer whales. You've seen how big that thing is.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could survive, if you jumped in the water, if you could stop a whale from eating you. Because I know these things are monsters, but they're not like sharks. They're not vicious. They seem kind of slow.
I mean, but they're called killer whales.
I mean,
the name, like that's a very distinctive name to give.
I gotta think now that I think of it, I'm sure that he would probably jump up and down and try to keep the water so bad where you couldn't like swim and kick.
Well, I've seen something like the way that they do their victims is like they'll throw them in the air multiple times.
Yeah,
and like it somehow dazes them, and then that's when they get them.
Well, I definitely would not want to be in them guys' shoes, JJ.
Yeah, leave Free Willy alone,
guys.
Took him out of SeaWorld, and this is what happens.
Yep. As we move on here, guys, want to thank everybody. Want to thank Walker Russell, John DeRossett for tuning us. McGoffin County Day here on the Startup Morning Show. Guys, tomorrow we will have Travis Graff, the owner and operator of the Made Hoops.
Really?
Yeah, owner and operator of the Made Hoops segment. Travis Graff will be on, so he's going to come on and talk a little bit about the upcoming camp in Louisville this weekend. And guys, want to thank you guys for tuning in. 8 a.m. tomorrow. We look forward and hope you guys enjoy the show and enjoy starting your morning with us every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy. Till tomorrow,